Good morning. How are you,
Morning.
Ash?
Getting there. How are you, Chris?
Let me pump a few more of these back. It's just tea. It's just tea. But we deserve on a good Friday. On a good well, it's a good Friday. It's not the Good Friday, but it's a
Oh,
good Friday.
I like how we start our sessions by digging up. Like you can't dig up. Also, can we put that the Simpsons?
Yes, yes. Wiggums, Wiggums.
All Wiggums all
No,
day.
no. Dig up, stupid. That's I'm Idaho. Welcome back, folks.
I choose you today, Chris, to be a
Go
of
banana for what the FUX. That's it.
which will lead us closer inevitably to what the
Ooh.
FUX. So
Ding.
we're on the bus. So welcome, friends.
Yeah, and thanks to our friends, our good friends at Wheel of Fortune, we have co-opted an animated, or was it a? Is it just a gifized wheel that will surface a topic for us to zoom in on, pick apart with whatever energy we choose. But based on our pre-show, it is going to be a more chill, probably vibe and energy. So with that, thoughts?
Just thoughts and disclaimers. I don't know that we're chill, and our chill may not be your chill. So please do not
True.
anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where that brings us. Let's spin
Yeah.
that wheel, Vanna.
Mm.
Boop 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 boop. And today on
I
our
forget this is
wheel of
turning into a
topics,
cash
we
flow.
have
Yes.
glory days and happy times. All right,
Ooh, a
glory
different kind of
days.
heat. One might say seasoning.
Ay, ay, ay. The only seasoning I know is salt, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. But yeah. So glory days and happy times. I think the
Hmm.
energy of this is, you know, thinking about in our time in UX, some little like appetizers for everyone listening, just little bits of beautiful flavors that we've had in our experience. So, we are users, we are experienced people, and we've had experiences, some of which were really delightful. So, what were
Hmm.
some of our glory days and happy times to think about in our UX journey? There's been plenty of what
Yeah.
the FUX, but these are the ones when you're like, yeah, what the FUX? What's up?
Yeah.
Instead of
This
like
is what
the
I'm here for. Hmm.
you want to start? You
Hmm.
want to go?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm listening to you. I'm not trying to. I'm digging it.
Get in it.
One that comes to mind was back when I was working in agency, and we were pitching. We were building a pitch to a client, and there were a few late nights as we were gathering our. Well, not it wasn't a lot. I mean, because as agency, you got to move fairly quickly, right? But anyways, in preparation for this pitch, we were going to go on site and check out their. We had the first initial meeting, and then the meeting where we were going to show them everything we were going to do and why we were going to do it and how it was going to benefit them. So late evenings, and then tons of nerves, and we wanted to make sure that they were getting not only a comprehensive UX package, not just for the sake of it, but because in in true form, there are a lot of businesses still that I wouldn't say are adhering to, but are still operating with certain dated user experience and user interface patterns and ecosystems, and they need help. They need a lift in order to make sure that they're not only compliant from a competitive lens, but also for those who are interested, that it's also accessible and
Mm.
digestible universally. So long story, short and so on. There were three of us: my director, sorry, our lead product manager, and myself, and the meeting went well, and we were going at it and like doing the Vanna White presentation stuff for like a good hour, and like they were sold, and that's fantastic. But I would say it was more about the work and our strategy sessions leading up to that, and the anticipation leading up to that, and everyone contributing their piece. What about this? What about that? Is this too much? I think they're going to need this based on the the lagging or dated product experience that they had on their website. So, and they had multiple brands, right? So it was, I think it was more about the journey than the like the moment, like, yes, where do we sign, and then getting into the nitty gritty. But I will say though that after, like, when we left the building and we hopped into an Uber coming back, like, we were all turned up, and then, like, it was just that moment, and then we got back into the office, and then we kept going again. But, like, everyone was doing their part. Everyone was speaking what was on their mind, and it wasn't because I'm so and so and you're so and so. It was everyone lend your subject matter expertise because we want this client. So that's one. That's the first story that pops up for me.
And I love that because that sounds like when we usually do our episodes, we're talking about what's missing to make it work the best for the people who are all part of it. And what you just described sounds like when everyone shows up knowing what they bring, but everybody knows what everybody else brings, and you're working as this cohesive but with expertise. Like that's like respect for everyone in the room, for
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to vibe, and for trusting each other to get done and to wow and to magnify and to do all the things that when we're doing our work right, that's what rolls up. And that sounds
Yeah.
like when it actually comes together and it works,
Yeah.
because it's got like that is like, I don't know, like it's like that's the little up there what you want is that experience that you described. That's like the that should really be how it goes, right? I love that.
It happens.
That's
It
a great
happens
example.
a lot less than it should, but I mean
Mm.
that's what, that's, I think that's where we also get a lot of our experience from, because we get thrown into certain pits and valleys, and whenever those peaks come, we like, I mean, I wasn't present, like, when is this ever going to happen again? No, we were in it, and there were other successes and stuff too, and there were other moments, but at the same time for other projects, but it just feels good, like, winning together. You know what I mean?
And having those experiences, like all we are really are collections of experiences. And so having these incredible bits that you kind of create, I don't know, I'm a very visual person, so like I kind of put them on like a little shelf, and you can look
Mm-hmm.
back and reflect on them and you see them and you're like, that was the thing. And then you have something to like resonate with or try and work towards, or when it's not, and you start going, "Ooh." But for the sake of the energy of it, like that can really also build you back up. That kind of memory of where to get to, and even to know who you are in your best version of what you're doing, is
Mm-hmm.
really validating too. Like, because you've
Mm-hmm.
seen it go, like that is as close to perfect as it gets, right?
Yeah.
So and having that and knowing it's real. Mm,
And, like, especially around the validation point, like, I'll just
yeah.
add a bit of like pre not even preamble, just like prequel.
Mm,
This It was my first gig into official gig into UX.
right.
And so being on this, like I had to prove myself. I interviewed and I went
Mm,
for it and I got the job. Yeah, but once I'm in there, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I? Am I? Do I actually know it? But I was already trained. I was trained and I already did it, like, back in 2020. 2013. And fast forward 4 more years and stuff, and then I'm like, am I actually? Yes, I was capable, but I just needed to jump in, throw myself in, and trust my team, because I was with a team that was cohesive.
and that's what support looks like when it wraps around to give everyone their best chance of doing their best. But it is beautiful when we have those moments that validate who we are, that don't challenge us in a way that's negative, right? It
Mm-hmm.
challenges us to do our best, which is a very different energy than something that challenges us and makes us feel small. Like it sounded like everyone showed up and was their best selves, and that's magnificent. I mean, I think, that's I think it's beautiful that we have these opportunities to focus on the it may feel like the smaller percentage of the time. Legitimately, it may well be the smaller percentage of the time when things go
Mm-hmm.
great, but
Mm-hmm.
that might be all the more reason to dedicate more of ourselves to that moment when it's there. Like to take that minute and remind ourselves it is possible, it is doable, it can be amazing. Especially when like in times of need, like if you're thirsty, you drink, if you're hungry, you eat. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to have these things and go like ingest them again, like wear them again,
Hmm.
like wrap yourself up in that again, especially in this moment we're all in, which is, this massive post layoff, very hard times to find work. This is a great
Hmm.
thing to go, oh, this was the thing that made me light up. Because it's very normal to feel not that way when we're surrounded by so much that's causing us distress. But,
Yeah.
it's almost like an inoculation, take kind of the edge, remembering these beautiful things. So I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They exist. They're out there.
I think was it David. You know the like the Marine, the Navy SEAL or Marine, Dave Goggins, like the ultra marathoner. He calls them. I read his book once, and he calls them like mental cookies, like from when you had achievements and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and just like
Mhm.
and then just like, ooh, I did this, ooh, I did that. So I love that what you said.
Yeah, mental cookie
Yeah,
it up. Yum, 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 yum.
yeah, love it. We've got more. We've got more. Ash, how about you?
Uh,
Any mental cookies or golden good times or origin stories?
so I think when I look back on like that, for continuity's sake, that
Mm-hmm.
shelf of like
Yes.
good vibes and great experiences. One of the things, it was my first real gig, right? Like this was a legit company. This was like me rolling up and doing research for the first time for them. And I was like, what do I do? And one of the things that I always talk about, no matter where I'm working, is inclusivity and accessibility, right? And so I wound up giving this talk about what research is, things like bias, like why it's going to look this way. Here's why I'm setting it up. Now, what they didn't know, so I had pre recorded it. And delivered it, right?
Uh-huh.
But the pre-record was being done at like a lunch and learn. And so I was rolled up, like I could hear what they were saying when they were waiting for me to come in after that had played. And I heard someone say, who was their new head person, say, this is incredible and this should be required watching for everyone who comes on board to work here. And I sat back and they didn't know I could hear them. I don't know if they know now, but I just went like, like I go, like I do know, and it does matter. The other one that I'll say now is in regards to our podcast and on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
someone put like just made a post that quoted something. I'm gonna cry. I swear I'm gonna cry about this. She posted what I said in direct quotation marks. Never in my life have I ever. And I was like, and she's like, I watched the What the FUX podcast, and I was like, and I let her know, I was like, I actually, animate, like, boop, because
Yeah.
and I'm like, crazy cat typing, and I actually let her know that I actually printed that out and I put it in a frame, and I took a photo of it and sent it to her to let her know that anytime, don't get choked up. Anytime I feel like no one's listening, I'm gonna look at this because they
Yeah.
are. So,
Feelings.
I'm like, when I was a kid, I grew up a Trekkie, and I'm like, Mom, why can't I be like Data? And she's like, my dad's like, for real. So, uh,
Un- well, so were you? Well, you wanted to be like Data, but then Data ended up getting the emotion chip,
and he took it
and
right
then,
out. Girl, he was like,
well,
he had it for a day. The whole quest was that he got him like, I'm good. When we are asking like what the FUX, that's about us in spaces and learning for ourselves too. What's our big win criteria? And sometimes it only comes up after you have one. So give yourself the
preach.
space to find that too and to experience it. It's out there, I promise. And I hope we all get more of that soon. So
Yeah.
look at me being
Thank you.
peachy or whatever.
Hey. Well, we figured this out in pre-show, so
What? How to Ashley to be peachy?
no, no.
Because
We wanted to spread a little sunshine and
happy times.
because that's what the FUX we're here for.
Mm. Laying that down. Nice.
Not
All
too
right.
bad.
That
But
was
yeah,
solid.
yeah. We'll see you again next time. Keep fit, keep having fun,
Oh,
and
man.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ash. We need a sign off that isn't
Isn't
shit.
shit.